Hello and a very good morning to everyone. Welcome to the daily current affairs analysis of the Shankar IAS Academy, and today's video is for the date of 1st of June 2025. So before moving to the topics to be discussed, there are just a few announcements to be made. Shankar IAS Academy are launching their new general studies prelims comes mains batch, and it starts from the 6th of June 2025. Along with this, a new CSAT batch which is starting on 23rd of June 2025. So to boost up your UPSC coaching, the interested students can visit the website and check the details. So now moving on to the topics of discussion. Here the first, these two articles are from mains perspective and these three articles are from prelims perspective. So the first article discusses about the tobacco usage for country India, and the next article discusses about the rise of digital growth, as there is rise of 1 billion growth, 1 billion internet users. The next three article discusses about the basics of critical minerals present in India, the plastic ban in Uganda as one of the 12th country or 12th place to be banning the plastic usage in Africa, and also additions to the Operation Sindoor. So in light of these articles, let us see the discussion. Now moving on to the news about critical minerals and e-waste. So here critical minerals don't belong to the landfills or the dumpster, as the microwave tech offers a cleaner way to reclaim them from e-waste. So here, as the demand for the critical minerals keep growing every day, so in the discarded electronics parts especially, it can be even more valuable resources by extracting them from these electronic items. So here the context is there has been a new microwave based technology developed by the West Virginia University, which enables clean and efficient recovery of critical minerals from the electronic items such as the gallium, indium, tantalum from e-waste especially. So this innovation addresses both national security concerns as well as the resource scarcity of critical minerals, especially in the US. Now let us see what is the definition of critical minerals. So here minerals which are essential for economic and national security with no viable substitute. So there is no alternate for the critical minerals, and they are vulnerable to the supply disruption. So they are very important, as well as there is no alternate to such minerals are known as critical minerals. So for example, gallium, which are used in LEDs and semiconductors especially, in next called indium, which are used in the touch screens such as phone, such as TV and also LCDs. Then the tantalum, which are used in capacitors and especially for the aerospace technology, and other critical elements, critical minerals such as lithium, cobalt and REE, that is the rare earth elements. So as per the US Department of Energy and Indian Bureau of Mines, which comes under the Ministry of Mines under Government of India, they are the vital, that is the nodal agency for clean energy, electronics, defense and telecom. So this is about the critical minerals. Look into the list of critical minerals present. Now looking into India's critical mineral dependency, India is heavily import dependent for most critical minerals. So even in recent prelims, we got a question related to critical minerals where it was present as all critical minerals are present in India. No, India is heavily import dependent for most of the critical minerals. So here the Kabul initiative, that is Carnage Videsh India Limited, is India's effort to secure supply chains through foreign investments related to critical minerals. So here India identified 30 critical minerals as per the 2023 list, including graphite, cobalt, nickel and other REDs. Now looking into the e-waste in the urban mine, e-waste generation in India is almost 1.6 million tons for the report of 2021 to 22. That is third largest after China and USA, and it contains valuable metals such as gold, copper and critical minerals. So the e-waste are not just a scrap. And looking into the recycling challenge, only 20% approximately globally is recycled formally. The rest is handled by informal sectors or dumped in the landfills. So imagine the best usage of a more higher percentage of these e-waste in extracting such minerals. So looking into the health and environmental hazards, it releases toxic fumes from burning plastics soil and water contamination from acid leaching. So the e-waste can be used in better ways rather than dumping and contamination. Now, what is the microwave technology for recycling? Here, it is developed by the West Virginia University researchers with DARPA support. So, DARPA is a defense and research based organization which is a government agency. So here it is it can be adhered to, such as DRDO in our country. So that's how equivalent this support agency is. Now, looking into their process, they shred the e-waste, mix with the carbon rich materials, and microwave heating isolates the critical minerals as sponge like pure metals. So the benefits is it is safer first, as there is no toxic chemicals brought in. Next is it is cost effective, and there is high recovery chances, that is 80%, and purity of 95 to 97 percentage, and it can integrate into existing facilities as it is cost effective and it is efficient also. Looking into India's policy initiatives, first is the e-waste management rules of 2022. So here it mandates the extended producer responsibility that we all know, and it introduces online tracking of e-waste also. The National Mineral Policy of 2019 and Critical Mineral Strategy under the Mines Ministry is also an initiative, and other PLI schemes for electronics are included. For battery manufacturing, could increase domestic demand for critical minerals, as it is also used in semiconductors. So I hope the article is clear. So this is the prelims practice question. With reference to the critical minerals and e-waste, consider the following statement. Critical minerals like gallium, indium are commonly recycled from e-waste using acid leaching process across developed countries. Microwave assisted recycling offers a cleaner and safer alternative by targeting carbon to extract specific minerals. India has already achieved self sufficiency in the processing of all listed critical minerals through carbon. Next, e-waste management rules 2022 impose extended producer responsibility on manufacturers for formal collection and recycling. So, which of these statements are right? Put your answer in the comment section. Now, moving on to the next news here. Africa's fight against plastic pollution gathers pace as Uganda bans single use carry bags. So, here Uganda becomes the 12th African country to ban single use plastics. So, look into the countries which have banned single use plastics, and also look into the countries which have banned the import of single use plastics. Now, looking into the reasons for ban, so we all know that single use plastics are plastics which can be used only once, and it cannot be renewed. So here environmental impact, first it drains the water bodies, especially it affects the water bodies. It drains the blockages and floods. Looking into their impact in the farmland, so here soil, it leads to soil degradation. Looking into the protected areas, it stands as a big biodiversity threat, as it can also get included through the in the food chain through microplastics also. Now, looking into the public health threat, so it is involved in the mosquito breeding, as it leads to malaria and dengue, as the plastics are present in the water bodies also, and as they are non recyclability. So here thin plastic bags, that is the 30 microns, and single use are hard to recycle, and they cannot be recycled after their first usage. So even about plastics, we have got a question in our previous prelims. So even cigarettes, such as cigarette buns, has also microplastics. Now, looking into global plastic waste scenario, according to the UNEP, here almost 500 million tons of plastic consumption have been made in the year of 2024. So the really not just on the land but also in the oceans. So in 2021 report, top 10 countries with highest plastic pollution released into the oceans would include Philippines, next is India, next is Malaysia, then countries like Indonesia, Brazil, Vietnam, Bangladesh and Thailand. So here almost 400 million tons become as a waste, and obviously uh, it generates along with the e-waste in the landfills and also as a waste in the landfills. So projected almost 1.2 billion tons of waste by the year of 2060 without an intervention or without an action if there hasn't been any steps or initiatives taken for the use of plastic. So, looking into India's ban on single use plastic, so it was enforced from July 1, 2022 through plastic waste management rules of 2021. Here it has banned items, that is 19 items included cutlery, straws, plates, tobacco and earbud sticks. So earbud sticks, these all are single use plastics. Looking into the reason, first it is non-recyclable in nature and it promotes high pollution, as we all seen the threats and related to water bodies as well as in the land, and it is also harm to soil, water, wildlife, as definitely they get into the supply food chain through microplastics. And looking into the implementation, these are the nodal agencies for the rules to be enforced. So it comes under pollution control boards and ban on manufacture, sale, import and distribution. So it includes all of these cycles. So all of these pollution control boards, they come under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So there are boards according to the states. So I hope there is a clear understanding about the article. Look into the basics for the single use of plastic and the countries related to who all banned the use and who all banned the import also. Now, according to the Plastic Waste Management Rules 2021, extended producer responsibilities applicable to who all? Only manufacturers, only retailers, producers, imports and brand owners, or consumers only. So here the option is C, all producers, importers and the brand owners. Now moving on to the next news, here again we are revisiting about Operation Sindoor. As looking into the context, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Kanpur, inaugurated for 47,600 crore worth of development projects. So here's the Operation Sindoor through his speech. So here it showed, according to Narendra Modi, it showed to the world India's indigenous defense capabilities as he addresses in a public meeting in the CSA University. So we all know Operation Sindhu, looking into their key objectives, neutralizes terror bases in Pakistan occupied Kashmir, demonstrate make in India defense capabilities and their indigenous products, and assert India's proactive counter-terror doctrine. So looking into the doctrine shifts, as stated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, there has been a decisive retaliation to every terror attack and operational autonomy has been brought in to the armed forces. There is no compromise due to the nuclear blackmail, as these all are important statements in the doctrine. As country India, we have been shifting to more proactive counter-terror doctrine. So here we have brought in a equal treatment to terrorists and supporting government. So we all know the doctrine shifts. Now, what the news highlights? Looking into the technological highlights, it uses of indigenous defense system, that is Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat, and here they targeted all of the air defense systems, the terror camps and the enemy bunkers. And looking into the major development projects, here there has been usage of metro and infrastructure production of many metros. Here the 14 stations have been brought in for the central stretch. And looking into the energy sector, here Panki thermal power extension have been done. Then Ghatampur thermal power projection have been done, and bringing in substations at the Yamuna Expressway industrial area. So here the major developments not just is important for the defense infrastructure but also through the networking and travel through metro and also through the energy sector. So here it ultimately brings in significance of Operation Sindoor, where we all know all of the three important national security agencies such as the Army, Navy as well as the Air Force are included. So first is the major defense. Here India, it showcases India's indigenous military capability through all of the three spheres. And there is a policy shift for the country, and through the doctrine, here India moves from reactive to proactive doctrine. And looking into the involvement of geopolitics, India has been openly bringing in the inclusion of no fear of nuclear threat and shows more strategic autonomy towards geopolitics for country India as well as for all of the neighboring countries. And looking into the public unity, it reviews to the soldiers and martyrs. Here it strengthens the national to resolve. And these are the developmental projects and infrastructures and economic development. It brings in positions under Uttar Pradesh as a power and logistic hub, as we all seen through metro and through energy. So these places are in Uttar Pradesh, as the Kanpur can be taken as a central stretch to bring in 14 stations for connections. So these are the add-ons to the current affairs of the Operation Sindoor. Now I hope the article is clear. Now looking into the prelims practice question. Which of the following was not inaugurated during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Kanpur visit? So here the answer is C. Mumbai Hyderabad Bullet Train Terminal. Now moving on to the mains article about India's digital growth. So here India will have 1 billion internet users by this fiscal year of 2025 to 26. The rapid growth of internet and broadband subscribers in the connectivity demonstrates a massive digital transformation for a country like India and critical for the inclusive development of many communities in the world's most populous democracy. Now, looking into the demographic implications, with 1.4 plus billion people in India, the India's digital transformation can directly uplift the rural livelihoods. It can enhance educational access through all streams and to improve the e-governance for good governance as well as for grievance redressal and catalyze the economic productivity for income generation and employment generation. So here the rural urban digital divide, even though it still remains as a challenge, it is narrowing due to the public sector investments present. So how the 1.1 billion internet users can be supported through the BharatNet project. So here the BharatNet project comes under the Ministry of Communications along with the Department of Telecommunications and along with BSNL. So the BharatNet project is one of the world's largest rural telecom projects globally, as they aim to connect the gram panchayats through the broadband connectivity across the rural areas and also along with the local village councils. So in the BharatNet phase 1, 2.14 lakh gram panchayats are connected through broadband connectivity along with 7 lakh kilometer of optical fiber cable being laid. So in the BharatNet phase 2, the target is to bring additional 2.64 lakh gram panchayats connectivity and also to bring in world's largest public investment in the grassroots connectivity. So these are the basics about the BharatNet project. So what are the new features involved? First is the MPLS routers. Here there is high redundancy versus the earlier GPON. So here the GPON, that is the gigabit passive optical networking. So basically they rely for bringing in fast internet connectivity, whereas the MPLS, that is the multi-protocol label system. So here they use labels to bring in internet connection rather than using the network address. So here the differences between GPON and NPLS routers is GPON is mostly for bringing in fast internet connectivity, whereas the MPLS is even more brings in efficiency and nuance, as they bring to check in the traffic between the different networks. So there is even more higher efficiency of the passing of the network. So these routers bring in higher redundancy. So redundancy is having a backup for the computerizations when there is a fail in the primary connectivities. Next is the ring topology. So here there is increased network resilience. So ring topology is basically having networks where any networks are connected between two networks. So here this network is connected with this and this network is connected with this. So there is basically all of the networks are connected to at least two basic networks. So this is the ring topology. Next is having central network operating hub, which is nationwide monitoring and bringing in independent engineers. So there is third party oversight, having 10-year maintenance clause for project implementation agencies, minimum 25 Mbps leased line to users, and 1.5 crore fiber to the home network customers to be connected. So they are Wi-Fi. Now looking into the challenges in the maritime disaster response, there is fragmented jurisdiction and poor coordination for maritime, especially through the optical fibers being used. There is outdated infrastructure and limited salvage capability and regulatory lapses and lack of community and ecosystem preparedness. So, looking into India's telecom digital economy trajectory, these are the internet uses through the years. So, you can see the differences between 2014 to 2025, then the broadband subscribers, then the data prices, as we have to see the affordability as it is the lowest in the world, and for mobile phone manufacturing from 80% imports have increased to the worth of 1.75 lakh crore, and introducing the PLI schemes impact where there is investments for there is R&D as well as investments for various other investment projects for revenue projects and export projects, and especially for job generation, almost 25,000 jobs. And looking into the institutional reforms, it includes Digital Bharat Nidhi, earlier called as USOF, where the bring in financial instrument for inclusive rural telecommunication infrastructure. Next is the Post Office Act of 2023. So it empowers our Indian Post to become a logistics and digital service provider. These are the service included. So postal life insurance, postal office savings bank, India's Post Payments Bank, which turned profitable, and the DIGIPIN initiative brings in digital access code to geolocate the delivery address through latitude longitude. So it brings in the importance of network addresses also, and to expect it to boost delivery accuracy, which is important, and e-commerce efficiency, which is one of the most blooming networks, especially for country India, and generating lot of employments. So looking into broader context, it brings in digital demography. The NSSO and NFHS data show increasing smartphone usage even in rural India. The digital literacy, even though it lacks to 38% of rural households having internet access as per the NSO survey of 2019. It bringing in the digital divide. So these are the few schemes to democratize the access, and challenges are last mile connectivity, which is true, electricity, affordability of devices, and digital skills and awareness. And next is digital economy potential. So here the NASCOM stands as a digital economy to contribute almost 20% of GDP by 2026. So India here has the capability to lead in AI, Internet of Things, through fintech, to bring in strong policy support and demographic dividend. So I hope I have given a clear understanding about the article. So this is the main question. India's demographic scale and innovation potential make it a natural leader in digital age. But however, digital inclusion must precede digital transformation. So examine this statement in the light of recent government initiatives like PLI, BharatNet and DIGIPIN. Discuss the implications of digitally empowered rural economy for India's socio-economic development. Now moving on to the last article. From tea stalls to tumors, tobacco affordability has been fueling cancer epidemic in India. So here the context is, with over 42% of men and 14% of women using tobacco, according to the GATS2, that is the Global Adult Tobacco Survey under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So according to this report, this is the statistics being found, and India is the world's largest consumer of smokeless tobacco. Now looking into the all dimensions of the tobacco use includes health, social and economic dimensions. Looking into health impact, they bring in the cancer burden, a direct impact. Next, having the impact through the second hand smoke uh, through the smokers present, that is through the women of the house as well as to children as well as to the men, and also every breadwinners. And now in health impact, it is one of the non-communicable diseases as the called the NCDs, and it enacts with a dual burden, that is with the TB. So these are the health impacts, and also along with physically, mentally, it brings in lot of social anxiety, depression as well as isolation. So next is a social dimension. So here there has been normalization of smoking through culture, called the chai sutta, for example, as it's been taken with the tea during the evening time also, through especially among through the youth generations, and especially in public spaces or in the work culture also. So here there has been gendered impact also, and looking into the economic costs, it has direct health expenditure as almost 1.7 lakh crore, or almost 1.04 percentage of GDP would be going for the direct health expenditure for the tobacco usage. That is from the year, this report is from the year 2017 to 18. Then definitely through the loss of productivity and also healthcare burden through all of the generations present. Now, looking into the reasons for continued tobacco usage and affordability and use, first is the low unit pricing. So, uh, items like BDs are even for the sale of 1 to 5 rupees. So, there has been very low unit pricing in India. Next is weak taxation system. So, here the GST is at 28 plus cess percentage, which is below the WHO recommended, which is 75 percentage of the MRP. And next is undershifting by the manufacturers. Here by the manufacturers means absorbing the tax hikes to make the price stable. So this is known as undershifting by the manufacturers. Next is the single stick scale loophole. So here it's not the sale of cigarettes are not only given in pack, but you can get it for one piece also. So that is known as single stick sale. So this brings in a loophole of getting cigarettes whenever we want as an affordable manner, and it is also the amount is very reduced as in compared to a pack. So there has been a lot of sale through the single stick, especially for country like India. And next is lack of packaging regulations. There has been even more decorative packages for cigarettes, and also policy interference by tobacco industry, especially in public places as well as in the workplaces. Now, what is the policy gaps and regulatory failures? There is poor enforcement of the public smoking bans and also the Gutka prohibition. It brings in limited coordination among tax, health, and trade departments. There is neglect of alternative livelihoods for tobacco farmers and BD workers, especially, and insufficient funding for cessation services and cancer screening. So, along with tobacco, there has been, for especially among youth, there has been more regulation of vapes. So so like flavored vapes. So here both the smoke as well as the smokeless tobaccos are being high usage among the population of India. So here what is the way forward? First we need to bring in a fixed fiscal measures. So we need to set the price according to the MRP so that there would be less sale. Next is regulatory actions, especially for the bans. Next, behavioral and public awareness intervention and health system strengthening as normalizing the sutta culture, that is chai sutta culture. And next is having research and monitoring, bringing in more surveys such as the GATS and support for tobacco workers. So there is alternate shifting of work for these workers. So I hope the article is clear. Let's see a mains question. Tobacco affordability is a major public health challenge in India, which is correct, significantly contributing to rising cancer incidence and mortality. Examine the health, social, and economic dimensions of tobacco use in India and suggest a multi-pronged policy approach to address this issue effectively. So kindly put in your answers in the comment section. I hope you are at the end of this video. I hope you like the video. So don't forget to give a like, comment, and share. And to further not to miss any other content, subscribe to our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.